On July 5, 2026, a plane touched down in Praia, the capital of Cape Verde. There was no trophy on board. The team inside had just been eliminated from the World Cup. And yet, what happened next made grown men cry in the streets. Thousands packed the airport. Drums, flags, whole families on rooftops. The players stepped off that plane expecting a quiet welcome, and found a country that had shut itself down just to say thank you. To understand why a team that lost made a nation weep with pride, you have to go back 3 weeks, and you have to understand just how impossible all of this was. This is Cape Verde, 10 volcanic islands scattered in the Atlantic, 500 kilometers off the coast of West Africa. Population, 525,000. That's fewer people than a single district of most host cities. They had never been to a World Cup, not once. This summer they weren't just going, they were about to make history no one saw coming. The world called them the Blue Sharks. The world was about to learn their name. First match of their lives at a World Cup. The opponent? Spain, one of the tournament favorites. The bookmakers didn't give Cape Verde a chance. Nobody did. In goal stood a 40-year-old named Vozinha, a man who spent years working as an electrician while chasing football on the side. At 40 years and 12 days, he became the oldest player ever to appear in his country's World Cup debut. That night, Vozinha made 7 saves. Spain threw everything at him and scored nothing. Final score, 0-0. Analysts called it the 4th most surprising result in the history of the World Cup. The tiny island nation had just stared down a giant and blinked exactly 0 times. Vozinha was named Player of the Match. His Instagram went from 56,000 followers to 14 million. The fairy tale had begun.
I'm proud. I think the whole country's proud.
Next came Uruguay, the winners of the very first World Cup. Cape Verde went a goal down and came back, 2-2. Their first ever World Cup goal and their second on the same afternoon. In the diaspora, Boston, Lisbon, Rotterdam, restaurants exploded. Car horns echoed through the night. More Cape Verdeans live abroad than on the islands themselves, and every single one of them was watching. A goalless draw against Saudi Arabia sealed it. 3 matches, 0 defeats. Cape Verde were through to the knockout stages of the World Cup, the smallest nation by population ever to do it. The reward? Argentina. Messi, the defending world champions, in Miami on July 3rd. Everyone knew how this was supposed to go. Miami turned blue for a day. Cape Verdean flags outnumbered expectations 1,000 to 1. And for 120 minutes, this tiny nation gave the champions of the world the fright of their lives. Messi scored first. Cape Verde equalized through Dylan Duarte. Argentina retook the lead in stoppage time, and in the 103rd minute, Steven Cabral smashed home an equalizer, so good, people called it the goal of the tournament. 2-2, extra time. Vozinha denied Messi from a free kick. He denied everything for as long as one man could. But deep in extra time, Argentina finally found a third. 3-2, it was over. At the final whistle, the 40-year-old goalkeeper sank to the turf in tears. His coach, Bubista, said it best. It was also a cry of resilience. They had lost the match. They had won something much bigger. 2 days later, the Blue Sharks flew home, and the date of their landing could not have been written better. July 5th, Cape Verde's Independence Day. 51 years to the day since the islands became a nation. The airport in Praia was overwhelmed, a sea of blue, red, and white, drums and singing and dancing in the arrivals hall. Police had to carve a path through the crowd just to get the players outside. And when Vozinha appeared, the electrician who had stopped Spain, the noise didn't sound like sport. It sounded like family, because on islands this small, that's exactly what it was. Then came the parade. An open-top bus through the streets of the capital with a banner reading Tubarões, the Sharks. Carnival drummers marched alongside. It was Independence Day, and the greatest sporting day in the country's history rolled into one. Look at these streets. Whole neighborhoods emptied onto the parade route. Cars were left abandoned where they stood, families running to catch a glimpse of the bus. The reference point people reached for wasn't football at all, it was independence itself. The players filmed the crowd filming them, grown men in team shirts wiping their eyes. They hadn't won the World Cup. They had done something rarer. They had made 500,000 people feel unbeatable. At a stage in the heart of Praia, the squad was presented to the nation one by one. The President of the Republic, José Maria Neves, received them as heroes of the state. From Boston to Lisbon, the diaspora threw its own parties. For millions of Cape Verdeans around the world, this team had put their homeland on every screen on the planet with pride. The numbers will fade. The draws with Spain and Saudi Arabia, the comeback against Uruguay, even Cabral's wonder goal against Argentina. What won't fade is what the kids in these crowds now believe is possible. They didn't bring home a trophy. They brought home something a trophy can't measure. Proof that 500,000 people on 10 small islands can stand toe-to-toe with anyone on Earth. So, the question we started with, why does an entire country cry for a team that lost? Maybe because they didn't lose at all. If this story moved you, tell us in the comments where you watched Cape Verde's run and what it meant to you.